Hi, I'm Andrew Benny, President of the Ellesmere A&P Association for 2020 and, as it turned out, 2021 for our special 150th anniversary show. The theme of the 150th anniversary show this year was Our Heritage, Our Future, and it was to encompass how the show association has progressed over the 150 years from its start in 1870 to the present day. A subcommittee for the 150th anniversary show was formed in 2017. It was chaired by Jeff Heslip and it contained members from the Selwyn Heritage Centre, the Ellesmere Vintage Club and the Ellesmere Historical Society, who were all going to play major parts with displays and activities for the show. Little did we know in our planning that we were going to be affected by a respiratory virus called COVID-19. It originated in China and spread through the world at an alarming rate. This impacted severely on New Zealand and it impacted severely on entertainment events such as ours, with laws and regulations that were put in place by governments on what the general public were allowed to do at the time. It forced such uncertainty over the world and through organisations like ourselves to be in a position where we were uncertain whether we could actually run the show or not, and it forced us in the finish to cancel the 2020 show with plans on holding the same show in 2021. All the planning for the show had been done, and it was just a process of hoping that the virus cleared itself through and we would be all up and running and able to put on a show that the district deserved, and that all our competitors and all our members, sponsors who have helped us along the way over many years would have richly deserved coming to. So running into the 2021 year, everything seemed pretty good as far as the COVID virus in New Zealand seemed. We seemed to be kept away from what was happening overseas, and planning for the show progressed pretty smoothly, followed on from our planning from the previous year. So not too much had to be done. Little did we know after having such a good run that we got through to August 2021 and another COVID outbreak occurred in the North Island. Immediately that put us into a level 2 situation, which precluded large gatherings of over 100 people. The association had, as I say, planned for this potential situation to happen. We were able to implement a level 2 show reasonably easily with the guidelines given. We're very lucky that we had a big ground. So if you're looking at this video in 20 or 30 years down the track, I hope you understand that it was a very difficult job for the association to run a show, and just due to the uncertainty that it was caused. So hopefully down the track, in the not too distant future, the show will return to normal and be the great community day that it always has been, and that our community deserve to have. So sit back, enjoy the video. It's not what we planned, but it's what we got, and we had 3 glorious days, and everyone who was able to be at our grounds competing on the day thoroughly enjoyed themselves, and here's hoping for a return to the normal A&P show for 2022. sheep committee. They've done a lot here in the last week or so, getting the pens ready, extending the back wall over there, and also attracting those extra feature breeds that we've got this year. So thank you very much to them. This year the association is celebrating its 150th year by recognising our long-term stewards. All stewards we thank very much, but without them we can't run these days, and to have dependable stewards is just such an asset for us, like all other associations have. So we are going to recognise our longest serving current stewards by presenting them with a medal right now. Keith was in the book in 1979, so he probably goes back maybe even a wee bit earlier than that, but very good.
Well done, Keith. Thanks.
Robert Gilbert, he was in the same book.
Well done, Robert.
Good,
Thanks for all the years.
Yep.
Well done.
Yep, thanks. And good.
Guy Abbott, 1979 as well, could have been before that.
Well done, Guy. Let's see this.
Ian Bessie,
Well done, Ian.
Ross Manson,
Well done, Ross. Thanks for all the work.
Stuart McPherson,
Thank you. Well done, Stuart. Yeah, good stuff. Well done, Stuart.
Leo Ponsonby,
Well done, mate. Well done.
Evan Gilbert. Evan's been doing this job from a very young age, and he's just done it, as I say, every year right through. So
Well done, Evan. Well done, Evan. Good stuff.
and we also have Alistair Harvey and Mark Anderson, but they're not here. And out of the wall section, Andy Bailey.
Thanks, Andy. Well done, Andy. Well done, Andy.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, I'll see that.
I'm Dean Geddes, and we just won the All Breeds cow over 4 years and over, and so we're waiting for the champion of champions. We have to judge the heifers.
And how many years have you been coming to the show?
Oh, do you want me to tell you my age? I'm 55, and the only one I missed was one when I went to Argentina for polo, and last year.
Brilliant, that's the money shot. Jamie Winter, and this is Glenlee Poppy, and she won the best 2-year-old yearling, best 2-year-old colt or filly, and she's a filly.
The sheep we've got in the ring right now, Southdown, owned by Neville Moorhead, Suffolk Adams family, South Suffolk Chamberlain, JP Chamberlain, Hampshire Ben Buttrick, Whole Dorset Ben Buttrick and Lockyer Partnership, Texas H and J Campbell, the Dorper Maple Genetics, Dorset Down Colin Smith, and O'Ryland Jill Thomas. Our two judges today are Stu Sinclair and Stevie is the other judge.
Well, firstly, thank you to the Ellesmere A&P for the opportunity to judge today. It's very good you've gone on with the show because we've got things to look forward to over the last 12 months. And my congratulations to all the exhibitors. I've been here a few years over the time, and I think the standard of stock's probably as high as I've ever seen. There's very few lighted sheep, and certainly the quality at the top end is first rate. Now, to be rearing a lamb as a hogget is a great achievement, but also to have such, being a great nick is very, very difficult. We all know what hoggets are like, but this is a very good example of the breed, and we felt that very worthy sheep in the number 3 position. Now, we go from that to the Suffolk. It's very, very big ewe, great head, covers a lot of ground. We just felt there was just a little bit more meat on the top sheep through the loin and the hind quarter, but there was very, very little difference between these two sheep, both outstanding animals. Now, we can have the Dorset. We're not going to catch that, okay, we'll just get it on the run. As we can see, very well filled in the hind quarter, very, very, eminent sheep, but we thought an outstanding exhibit on the day. So my congratulations to all winners, and yeah, I think it's a real credit to you all. Thank you.
Lawrence Export Sire. First place goes to Lockyer Partnership. Ben Buttrick. Will they come forward and grab their prize, please?
Nice second stay here, Ben, because you got second as well.
And he also got second with the Hampshire. Third was Price Partnership.
Right. No, you're right.
You can well done.
What's Simon Hawke?
Fourth, Simon Hawken.
We're going to get over there. Ooh. I struggle. Oh, hang on.
No,
that'd be easier. Simon Hawke, was it?
Well done. Yeah.
Good, very good.
Yeah,
Thanks very much.
fourth
Good.
for the export side. Yeah.
Yep, Simon Hawke. Thank you.
In the Lions crossbred, Kent and Karen Quinn. They were first and second. And James Webster third.
Where's the boss?
He's working.
There you go. Well done.
Well, I'd just like to thank the Ellesmere A&P for asking me to judge today in these classes. I think Doc Sidey was supposed to do it, and he must do something else on Fridays. I don't know whether he's religious or what, but he couldn't come, so I'm filling in for him, and I hope he agrees with what I do. 150 years is a long time. I can't remember anywhere near that long. I can't even remember half that long, so it's a hell of a long time ago. And I think it's interesting to see here that probably 150 years ago that the only breed of sheep, I might be wrong, that's here present today was English Leicester would have been here, I would think. And whether there was any Romneys, I don't know, but we'll find that out later. Romney Marsh and obviously the Ryland. So we saw the Ryland in the meat beef class. Anyway, moving on, what we're supposed to do, judging these girls. They're a good line out, good representatives of their breed. I'll start with the third place. In third place we put the black and coloured exhibit. Have a look at the fleece on that animal, and she's got a good carcass. Yeah, if you want a home craft fleece, that's got style in it, it's got length of staple, it's got softness, it's got everything that you'd need for what the fleece that it's growing, and also obviously it's a very good carcass ewe hog. Then in second place we went with the Romney. She's very well balanced ewe, she's very breedy type of head. You mean she's not big or whatever, but she's very well proportioned. She's got a good fleece on her and a good carcass. And out of what we've got left, I'll just comment on the rest of them. That was second. I won't tell you what's first yet. I'll just comment on the other two. The Corridor is a good sheep. She's very breedy, very feminine head, a good carcass. So just a wee bit, we were disappointed that there wasn't a bit more character in the wool. She's a wee bit what I'd call flat in the wool, and I'd like a bit more style on a young sheep. The Perrindale is a good, well-balanced sheep. Plenty of attitude, obviously, as a Perrindale should have, and a good even fleece on it. Then I'll move to the English Leicester, and probably a lot of you hadn't had a lot to do with English Leicesters. I used to, because we used to breed a lot of first cross English Leicester, Merino crosses, half-bred rams. That English Leicester ewe has got a top English Leicester fleece on it, and on top of that I think you want to have a feel of the loin of that sheep if you get a chance afterwards. She's as good as any of those mutton breed hoggets that we had in the previous class, and therefore in my mind you've got a sheep that's come back here, been here for 150 years. No one really wants to use them now because they're old-fashioned, because they haven't got a bit of some other fruit salad breeds in them. But that sheep, if you crossed it with anything, you'd end up with bloody good progeny. She's a very good exhibit of the breed, and a very good exhibit of all breeds here today, and I congratulate the owner on taking out the trophy today. Thank you.
Well done, Ben.
Cheers, thank you.
Yeah, hi, I'm Bede McCloy, and my wife Desma and myself are very surprised winners of the Champion Ewe Hogget at this special 150th Ellesmere show. So very proud that we're able to do that, and particularly since the breed is in fact one of the original 8 breeds that were here for the first show 150 years ago. So it's pretty special for the breed, and as much for us as the breeders. So very honoured. Thank you.
Thanks, mate. That's very helpful. Now, another top lineup of ram hoggets. Very, very difficult job, as you can all see. Now, some of the sheep that maybe didn't make the top 3, we felt just were a wee bit dicey on the feet. 1 or 2 turned in, tossed here and there, just fine points, but we're looking for something that's sound. So our 3 top sheep, if they go forward, would be the Suffolk, the South Suffolk, and the Hampshire. They can move forward, please. South down. What did I say? No, south down. That's okay. South down. Apologies. South down. We get day out. South down, Suffolk, and Hampshire. Gone right? No, you can't get out of there. All right.
Well, you want to go forward, Brent?
No, he's all right.
Come on.
Okay. Right now, this is the Hampshire, perhaps, which doesn't have quite the volume of meat that the top 2 sheep have, but he's very, very clean and very, very correct. There's very little wastage on that sheep, which we're looking for. It's got very good feet, moves very well, and a good example of the breed. It's placed at number 3. Then we go to the Suffolk. This is obviously the biggest sheep in the class. Very proud ram, holds his head up well, very, very masculine, great bone and feet. Just the difference between the number 1 and the number 2 sheep was perhaps the volume of meat and the balance of the carcass, perhaps. The South Down did tend to take from backwards, the width of the hind quarter probably had a little bit more than what the Suffolk's got. So that was the main reason that we placed the South Down above the Suffolk. As you can see, it's a very, very clean ram, and has the cuts that we're all looking for in this day and age. Hind quarter, loin, and it's going to be a sheep that's going to weigh like concrete. Look at the depth, and you know, it's got everything we want. I think it's one of the better South Downs that we're going to see anywhere. My congratulations to the winners. It's certainly top sheep. Thank you.
Two of WO's grandsons are here, Hamish Rennie and Stuart Rennie are here, and they're going to be presenting the WO Rennie Memorial Cup for the most points in the long haul section.
Bring them in there and we'll do it now.
It's a great pleasure to be here. Neither of us really knew Osborne very well because it died before I was born. And, yeah, 8 years old. But he was always into sheep and his breeds. He did really value going to Australia and showing them over in Australia. And he showed them at Melbourne and then sell them afterwards. And he came home really happy with the money he was making out of the Australians. So, really big fan of these sheep, and we're very honoured to be able to present this today to whoever wins.
Thank you guys for turning up. Peter that spoke there before does a great job on the history of our, what we call our 100-year president. This year we've actually got two, 100 and 101 because we skipped last year. And it's really good to hear what Peter's got to say about what happened 100 years ago. So this trophy obviously has been in the cabinet for a long time, and it's for the most points gained by the exhibitor in all of the wool breeds. So that's the Corridor, Romney, and the Border Leicester, and the English Leicester, sorry. So that happens to be this year Gordon and Barbara Gilbert, if they'd like to come up here please. Come Barbara. Gordon and Barbara have been showing here for a lot longer than I Thank you.
Just do a photo shoot.
Yeah.
As a group, do a photo shoot.
Look at the camera over here.
You guys move that way a little
My name is Brent McCauley. We've just won the Ram Hogget class at the Ellesmere A&P 150th show.
He didn't bring any wrong.
Good examples of their breed. There's one sheep in our mind that stands out there. It's a sheep close to the crowd at the moment. It's the Romney. These are wool breed sheep, and they're obviously dual purpose. And you can see in that sheep that he's got as good a back end as any of the meat breeds. He's got a couple of little faults. I prefer to see him stand up a little bit further on his front pastings, but that comes, the shoulder structure's not dead right. And we know how the Romney breed has changed from 150 years ago. They couldn't see where they're going anyway, Romney marshes. And we've gone through big long things that were stretched out 3 mile long. You couldn't see the tail end from the head of that, like a long train. Now we've shortened them up and got them meaty. I think we've got to this stage that probably, in my opinion, is for the next 150 years and in the next 10 years, that they're probably going to make them a wee bit longer so that they weigh better, a bit more capacity to have. I mean, these are having a hell of a lot of lambs, but it's not a very, they haven't got a very big motor to put lambs in there and need a tummy full of grass and milk at the same time. So I think probably for a maternal breed that they will stretch out a bit and try and keep that same carcass sheep just a wee bit longer in the loin and better balance. The Corridor is a good sheep. He's a lot taller than Romney, obviously. I'm standing behind him at the moment. He just lacks a bit of filling in the hind quarter in regards to carcass. He's got a good fleece of finer type Corridor wool. Yeah, he's got a good sorry head, and I just like a wee bit more rounding in the back end in them really, and that's we all agreed on that. The other two are good examples of the breed. The black and coloured here, that wool on that sheep's finer than what it looks like from the outside, but it just runs out a bit down the back legs. I mean by that, it just gets a bit stronger in its wool, and he hasn't got the quantity of meat of the others. And the Pyrenees, that's a good sheep, not as forward obviously. You can see there as they spin around as the Romney and that, and we are actually judging them on the day, so that's really what we arrived at. And obviously the winner is the owner of the Romney Pit. Thank you.
And Jeff Miller is presenting the trophy in this class. Well done, Ian. We go to the Romney. Ian Kidd. We go to the Suffolk. Norm Carr and Margaret. Might go over. Black and coloured, LP and KE Ponsonby. BL and DJ McCloy. John Jepson with the Perindale. Brent McCauley with the Southdown. In the background there is Jill Thompson. Ian Kidd with the Dorset Down. Label Genetics, Texel and Dorper. Dave Buttrick with the South Suffolk. Ben Buttrick with the Hampshire. WJ, KR and KM Lilla. Well done everyone. Now we hand over to the judge.
Well, I'm only one, obviously Stuart and I. Will obviously, he pulled out, he was supposed to be a junior judge, but he's got a sheep in here, so that's even better still. I won't tell you what you thought of his sheep, Will, but no, very well done. It's good sheep. So, it's a bit higgledy-piggledy here, but we picked out 4 breeds to come forward. It's the Southdown that Brett's got there, Norm Suffolk, Ian Kidd with the Romney, and Neville here with the Pole Dorset. We're looking for, there's 3 lots of prize money, but we're looking for 1 outstanding sheep, and Stuart and I didn't have too much trouble in finding that sheep. We've got a couple of senior sires mixed amongst some ewes and lambs, and they're all good exhibits of their breed. Every sheep here is a good exhibit of its breed, but we're looking for one that's got the X factor, something that is going to change a breed, move a breed forward, and make more money for the commercial farmers when they buy sons of that sire, or sons of that ewe or whatever. We had no trouble in coming to the decision that today's winner is the Pole Dorset ram here of Neville and Diane Greens. He is a senior sire. You see that sheep walk, for the amount of weight that sheep is carrying, the amount of meat it's got on it, the depth of barrel, the sire's head, and there he is, he's going to parade for you. Well, you know, if we had a yelling Angus bull and we painted him black and took him over there, probably won that too. You know, for a big sheep that can move like that, tremendous amount of meat. There's no doubt that his sons will have tremendous growth rate. See, when he pulls up like that, he stands up, he stands square, and we had no trouble. You can differ with us if you like, but that's the decision we came to. And then not far behind him, of course, was our champion ram Hoggett, the Southdown, because he's a younger sheep, he's still got to get to that stage. The Pole Dorset's a bit like me, he's got white hair, and the Southdown's going to be a while, he's never going to have white hair, but he could turn into a ram like that, but he's very, very pure of his breed type, outstanding qualities, meat qualities throughout his carcass. And then we went with the Suffolk, a very impressive young sire. You can see the way he's standing there. He knows he's good. Norm knows he's good too, but the sheep thinks he's better than Norm. As I said, he had a couple of wee things that we made a decision about, and we'll stick to that. So he's in 3rd place. And then along here we've got Ian's Romney Ram, which is a very good exhibit of the breed, and I spoke about him previously. So congratulations Neville and Diane, and it's very fitting that it's actually your local show as well, and the 150th one at that. So thanks again on behalf of Stuart and I for asking us to judge this. Feel privileged to be asked, and well done.
Neville and Diane Greenwood, and we've just won the Supreme Championship of the show.
Awesome. What sheep was it?
Cold Dorset.
Nice, cool. And what do you think made them win?
Well, you probably asked the wrong person, but
Size.
they're just he's a big sheep, a lot of meat on him, it's pretty sound.
And how many years have you been entering sheep in the show?
Oh, gee. I started in way back in the pet days anyway, 1966 or 7, I think I started here in purebreds.
Cool.
So yeah, might have been. I don't. Might have been.
So if you just tell us your name and what you've won today.
Deborah Cook, and just won the mare class with Woodbury Goldie, and she's a 7-year-old mare and comes from Cust.
And how long have you been competing in the show?
Probably last 23 years. Yeah, so it's great to be able to come and celebrate your 150th finally.
And if the public would have been here, you would have the family here watching it. Ready now.